Check. Check. We tune because we do care. Okay. Good morning. I sounded the chime once for those who have lived before us. I sounded it a second time for those of us living in the here and now. And I sounded it one more time for those who will inhabit the future. Sean? Thank you, Sean. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. On this first Sunday of July, can you believe this? This is our beloved community where we can be ourselves but not by ourselves. I'm Glennis Peterson, if you didn't know me. I want to thank our greeters, Alan Mary Herring. Thank you. And I want to draw your attention to the insert on the order of service where it lists upcoming events. And things or not, there is an announcement that the meditation is going to be paused the Tuesday afternoon. So go ahead and have a look at that. To help those in our community who suffer from food insecurity, we join with several Roseburg churches in support of the Fish Pantry. We will now collect your food or money donations for fish. And I call on whoever is young at heart to come forward, take a basket, and help. Thank you, Donna and Martha. And next week, Rini has offered to go ahead and help us with that. So we'll try to remember that. So welcome to all of you at home. We're so glad you're joining us. And as always, I'm ever grateful for our staff, Sean Shea, who plays the wonderful music for us, Jake Tranter in the back making all this technology work, and Genevieve Gonzalez for her talents and skills in the office. Please take a moment, if you haven't done so already, to turn off your phone. And I would like to acknowledge the people who came before us on this land. where this beloved sanctuary now stands. This is the land of the Umpqua people, whose name graces both forks of the river and this valley, and whose name has been chosen as the name of this congregation. This land acknowledgement is in recognition of their gifts and the beginning of atonement for harms done, and part of the path towards healing. This mic is really poppy. Today, our speaker is our lovely friend Donna Smith, and we welcome her with absolute open arms. For the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue ball, green ball, yes. Gaia, mother of everything, we walk gently across your back to come together again in this place, to remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live, welcome us. Opening words this morning are from one of my favorites, Eckhart Tolle. Humanity is now faced with a stark choice: evolve or die. If the structures of the human mind remain unchanged, we will always end up recreating the same world, the same evils, the same dysfunction. Please rise in body and spirit, and join us in singing number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
For the love which from our birth
realized that the words are different, and I looked all over for a recording of one with the same words, and that just wasn't happening. So I do apologize that I should have actually mentioned that. So I don't see any children, but I like to sing the song anyway. So we'll go ahead and sing "Go Now in Peace." Now is the time in our service when we remember our joys and concerns with silent or spoken candle lighting regarding the significant milestones in our lives. I invite those who wish to light a candle, silent or spoken, to please form a line to the right. And for those with spoken candles, I must stress, please be brief and give us your name. The offering is a sacrament of the free church. We are supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join us. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and values. Martha? For the gifts we have received, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world and to expand our beloved community. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy our anthem this morning, Revolution of Compassion with Sean Shea. And welcome Susie to the stage.
I have a slight correction. This is not a sit back and relax song. This is an up on your feet dancing song.
Oh,
Clapping, singing, whatever.
I stand corrected.
Okay. But if you want to relax, that's okay too. But I certainly invite you to sing along, especially on the chorus, because this is a real anthem. This is like a marching song for the revolution, which we are all, but you don't have to stand, but you can certainly.
But March.
Yeah, all right, good for you.
Sure, March. Is this on, Sean? Is this on? Yeah, I think it's on. Okay.
Okay. So here's how the chorus goes. We need a revolution, of compassion as we return again to our hearts. We'll see a transformation of our nation, and we'll reclaim this country as ours. Okay. You'll catch on to the tune pretty soon. And there's so many tunes you can use because everyone is expected to sing in whatever harmony comes out of your mouth.
Can you angle that a little bit so it's not blocking the people over there? No, that's worse then. It's worse. Way over to the left.
It's just going to have to be where it is.
Okay.
Can you guys see?
I can't
Okay.
see any of them, but it's okay.
1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Transformation of our nation. one listen to their needs. A handful of billionaires are stashing it away. Seems there's no limit to the greed. Revolution of compassion as we return again to our hearts. The transformation of our nation. We'll reclaim this country as ours. Let's take a moment to be thankful. If we have shelter for our bed, let us have mercy on our brother outside. He has no place to lay his head. Revolution of compassion. Turn again to our hearts. To see transformation of our nation. We'll reclaim this country as ours. We can't ignore another suffering. We're all connected at the heart. We've got to all stand together to heal the cancer tearing us apart. Revolution of compassion as we return again to our hearts. See the transformation of our nation. We'll reclaim this country as ours. We'll reclaim this country as ours. We'll reclaim this country as ours. Yay, thank you.
If you like that song, you can see it on YouTube. We'll put it on YouTube.
Well, I would like now to introduce today's speaker, Donna Smith. If you don't know her, she is a Unity Worldwide Ministry spiritual leader whose training focused on pastoral care. She is most happy when she can help others find peace and joy in their lives. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles, and a teacher of the Way of Mastery, and she is active in our Cares and Concerns ministry. Donna, welcome. Let's just make more noise.
Good morning. Wasn't that music amazing? Thank you, all three of you. I don't know if you could see, but Glennis was back here playing too. Yes, that was wonderful. And happy freedom to everyone, no matter who you are, what you do, what you think, anything. This is a time for freedom. Ernest Holmes on July 4th, 1937. True freedom, true liberty has something cosmic behind it. If the time has come that modern science has proved that we cannot move a piece of paper without changing the balance of the entire physical universe, if we have come to the place where we know that the stuff of which our physical bodies are made is the same stuff of which the planets are made, if we have come to the place where such a profound unity is maintained that physicists believe there is no such thing as disunity in the physical world, then we can easily see what the great spiritual leaders of the ages meant when they told us of that greater unity in which we all live and move and have our being, and that the idea of freedom itself is tied up with the true concept of the unity of good. He says, if our nature is one, if God is one, and we know that God must be one, for the universe cannot be divided against itself, then we are all tied into an indivisible unity. We shall have to get back to this unity to find the meaning of freedom. Nothing in any part of this cosmic whole could be considered freedom that would destroy the liberty of some other part of it. That would be self-destruction, would it not? As Jesus pointed out 2,000 years ago, that would be a kingdom divided against itself. The kingdom of God is one kingdom. So we know that true liberty must spring from true unity. Ernest Holmes, 1937. Hubert Reeves. Man is the most insane species. He worships an invisible God and slaughters a visible nature without realizing that this nature he slaughters is this invisible God he worships. A Native American proverb, treat the earth well. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Yes. Our ancestors knew about the oneness of life. The sacred geometry called the flower of life, which I have hung right here for you to see, represents the basic geometry of all life. You can see this in all living things. All the laws of nature can be derived directly from sacred geometry. And literally all the information of the reality and light is in that sacred geometry. And this symbol has been found all over the world in ancient temples and structures. So let us be reminded that we live in a holographic universe. The whole is found in its entirety at every point in space. Each one of you is the universe. Isn't that exciting? And you can also find it in a net. That is how our holographic universe works. Drunvalo Melchizedek writes in his book, The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, that when we understand the oneness of life, he says, it will begin to change the way you see the world you live in. It will become clear that your body is the measuring stick or the holographic image of the universe, and that you, the spirit, plays a more important role in life than society has taught us. Our relationship with Mother Earth is about consciousness. When you are of the same consciousness with another, there is harmony. And if you are not, there is disharmony. The collective consciousness of humanity at this time is not the same as the consciousness of Mother Earth, and we are experiencing great disharmony in our lives. This disharmony is outpicturing as the upheaval in the lives of humans and the violent occurrences that occur in nature, such as our earthquakes, our tsunamis. We are consciousness, pure awareness. Our physicality is an experience that we're having. It is not who we are. Just as we have thoughts, but we are not our thoughts. Within consciousness is content, but we are not the content. Content is composed of, guess what? Our opinions, our beliefs, our agreements that we've made, and our points of view. That's content. As an analogy, if we considered the ocean as consciousness, the content would be the fish and the algae and all the things that are in the ocean. Mother Earth is a sentient being with a very high consciousness. The world is content. It is a reflection of our collective points of view, beliefs, and agreements that we have made as humans. And the world changes when our collective consciousness changes, and it will not change until that happens. The moral of the story being that we can change the world by changing our level of consciousness, up or down, harmony or disharmony. It's all up to us. Now, many, many people on this planet are awakening and intentionally increasing their consciousness to levels that are harmonious with Mother Earth. However, there are still so many that do not understand this connection and are out of harmony with the consciousness of Mother Earth, and they are struggling. Now, we have moved from a great respect for Gaia, as our ancestors had for thousands of years, to a consciousness of disconnect with her. We have forgotten our oneness with Mother Earth and the other species that live on this planet with us. This movement has brought about great fear, lack of belief in lack that leads to greed, overconsumption of the Earth's resources, and disrespect for the other forms of life on this beautiful planet. Now, this is changing as we finally are realizing the interconnectedness of all life. Now, Unitarians know this, and it is reflected in one of your core beliefs: respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Yes, a beautiful, beautiful principle. Right now, we are in a period of great chaos, and that chaos before the new paradigm of higher consciousness is leading to that new paradigm. The collective consciousness is rising as more and more people are beginning to understand what oneness means, and that it must necessarily include all of life. Now, some will choose to leave the planet in this period of transformation, and that's okay. All life has choice. Everything is a choice. And a choice must be made, as one cannot stay in indecision in this movement. Chaos can be painful, as we all know. In the chaos, we will find a lot of fear, a lot of upheaval, insanity, and tearing away of belief systems and institutions that we have created. Drunvalo says, most of the prophets and the indigenous peoples of the world see a great change coming to earth and to mankind. We see this change ultimately and specifically in a planetary dimensional shift into a new level of existence associated with a change of consciousness into Christ or unity consciousness, however you want to describe it. This great change is the movement into the higher dimension. Now, some of the things that are happening. The geomagnetic fields begin to weaken. Science knows that this field has been dropping in the last 2,000 years. In the last 500 years, it has been dropping more dramatically. As we approach the great change, this means the geomagnetic fields go crazy, and all the species on this planet are affected in what seems like craziness because it affects our emotions. Have we seen that? Are we seeing that? Our DNA is changing from a carbon base to a crystallized form of DNA, which means that we will be experiencing in our physical bodies more of the light that is our true nature. In other words, we're going to be less dense. However, this period of change brings about some discomfort. And so you may experience that discomfort. I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's okay. All right? It's okay. Mother Earth's vibrational frequency is rising, and that's what it means when she is raising her vibration, her consciousness. For thousands of years, it has been 7.83 hertz. The Schumann resonance scale shows that her rate is now 16. and is spiking quite regularly up to 68 and around there. So this is a sign that Mother Earth is moving into a higher frequency. She is moving into the 5th dimension, and she is asking us to go with her. I can just imagine her saying, they're just not learning. I'm going to have to raise my consciousness and pull them along. Right now, we're actually moving into the 5th dimension through what is called the 4th. And that 4th dimension, which we're actually in right now, is the transformational dimension. And this is where we experience some of the disharmony, some of the effects of the craziness that's going on. The 4th dimension, again, is that process from paradigm A to paradigm B. Nikola Tesla said, "Our entire biological system, the brain and the earth itself, work on the same frequencies. However, we live in the time of technology with superficial wavelengths that disrupt the natural Earth's frequency. In other words, we are out of balance with the Earth's electromagnetic frequency right now. And that's why we see so much craziness." In The Way of Mastery, it reads, "For the time comes quickly when this planet will not be willing to tolerate untidy house guests that are not willing to vibrate at the frequency of being toward which the planet herself is preparing to move. Therefore, be not caught by coming home one day and discovering that the landlord has changed the locks and you have not a place to rest your head." Research shows that as spiritual beings merged with human bodies, we also merged with the consciousness and the energetic makeup of Earth when we were born. To stay in sync with the planetary composition and the frequencies, the human body has an autocorrect system that can recalibrate to the environment when needed. So when the auric field of a human is not in sync, it is difficult for the emotional, mental, spiritual, and etheric bodies to sync with the physical body and the frequency of Earth. So the goal is to transform the dense, controlling reality we are experiencing in a way that unifies humanity in love-based higher consciousness, while still existing in a body, a physical body. We do not have to die to experience this wonderful new level of consciousness. So how to acclimate the body to accept the higher frequencies? Again, you may go through some discomfort, but that's all it is. It's not, huge pain or anything. It's just discomfort. And one of the ways, well, several of the ways, there are many, of course, but here's just a few. One of the most important, one of the most unaccepting, shall I say, is letting go of the past and forgiveness. All right? How many people say, it's too bad, I just can't forgive? If you do not forgive, you're stuck. If you do not forgive, you will not evolve. If you do not forgive, you're not going to be living on this planet with a higher vibration. It really does get down to that. So we got to get over this, I can't forgive. You forgive for yourself anyway. You don't forgive for anybody else. And so I really implore you to think about forgiveness. Another is meditate in any way you want to. Some form of contemplation. You don't have to sit with your legs crossed in pain, with a mantra. You can go out and sit in Mother Nature, but just go into some contemplation and get out of the busyness of the world. And grounding and earthing is very important, and that means come into contact with Mother Earth. We wear all kinds of shoes that keep us from touching Mother Earth. We don't want to get dirty or something, But that's not helping us at all. When I go to the beach, I will walk barefoot in the sand even if it's raining. I love making that contact there because I just love the sand. Be aware of your higher guidance. think about your intuition. When you get those, those messages, really think about them. Don't dismiss them. They're there for a reason. And one of the most important, which you hear me say all the time, and I will always say it, love yourself. If you don't love yourself and care for your body, you will not be able to love anybody else. And you will not be able to love Mother Earth. So love yourself. So what does all of this mean for us? We're in the great change right now, and knowledge is power. The more we know about what is happening to Mother Earth, the more we will understand what is happening to us. Right now, these changes are causing many humans to go crazy and lose their sense of compassion and reason. Our intention is to understand what is going on, do the things that will help us increase our consciousness, to be of service, and to help Mother Earth and humanity go through the changes of this time with love and compassion. Now, the following is not to scare you, but to inform you, so we can take steps to alleviate the problems that we have. So we can only do that from a sense of awareness, not fear. If the bees disappeared off the surface of the globe, then humanity would only have 4 years of life left. No more bees, no more pollination, no more plants, no more animals, no more man. Words of Einstein. Deepak Chopra says that if we succeed in killing all the insects, in 5 years there would be no life on planet Earth. If, however, we succeeded in killing ourselves off, no more humans, in 5 years the planet would be teeming with life. What does that say about us? Christian de Duve says, the cost of our success is the exhaustion of natural resources, leading to energy crisis, climate change, pollution, and the destruction of our habitat. If you exhaust natural resources, there will be nothing left for our children. If we continue in the same direction, humankind is headed for some frightful ordeals, if not extinction. Plastics have only been mass-produced since around 1950. A staggering 18 trillion pounds. While we can't undo that production, we can limit more plastic from being made and ending up in our oceans. Over 1 million marine animals are killed each year due to plastic debris in the ocean. It's estimated that 90.5% of the amount of plastic waste ever made has never been recycled. Estimated at 6,300 million metric tons. If the present trends continue, by 2050, there will be 12 billion metric tons of plastic in landfills. That amount is 35,000 times as heavy as the Empire State Building. Not to scare you. Knowledge. Of the more than 80,000 chemicals used in the U.S. today, most haven't been adequately tested for their impact on human health, much less on the health of our children, or on Mother Earth, or on any other species that lives on this planet. Now, there are 7 different types of pollution affecting ourselves and our Earth home. Water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, thermal pollution, radioactive pollution, noise pollution, light pollution. All forms of pollution are caused by humans. And I encourage you to research these forms of pollution so you can find ways to reduce the impact and make some different decisions. So how long does it take items to decompose? Well, you can go online too and get a list that's going to scare you. It will scare you. And in that list, there's going to be some that will not biodegrade. And 2 of them are tinfoil and styrofoam. Tinfoil and styrofoam, how many of us use that every day? So we need to find other ways. So what can we do? Well, most importantly, don't ever think that you won't make a difference. Greg Braden and Lynn McTaggart's work with Holding Intentions have shown that it only takes the square root of 1% of a population to make a measurable effect on that population. So if we take the population of the world right now, that would be 9,486 people. Holding one intention will make a difference. And we certainly can do that now with our, with our means of communication. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." So awareness is the greatest change for change, or agent for change. So when we raise our consciousness to those levels of love and caring, that's what's going to help us, Mother Earth, and all the species on this planet. And be conscious of the fact that we can't throw things away. There is no away. We are living on this planet like we have another one to go to if we mess this one up, and we don't. Okay? We just bury our trash so that no one will see it. We move it around, or we just toss it on Mother Earth, or we throw it into Mother Earth's ocean with complete disregard for what happens next. There is no away. It's here with us all the time. So I encourage you to become knowledgeable on how you can help in those 7 areas of pollution, especially through recycling, repurposing and reusing. I went online one time and there was this web page that had these amazing ways you could take all these things and make other things out of them. It's really, it would be fun to do that, actually, and just have a big day of doing that. But there are so many ways that we can help, and I know we don't have time to go into them today, but I want to encourage you to look for those ways. We are creative beings. We've created this, and we can make it better. And we can create a future that we want. There's nobody else to do it but us. Okay, we just have to be aware and raise our consciousness so that when we raise our consciousness, we're in that place of wisdom. You know that saying, we can't create a solution on the same level the problem was created. I think that was Einstein. Okay, so we have to raise our consciousness in order to do that. And we have to do it not only individually but collectively. Greg Braden says, and I actually shared this with you last time, but it's so important, we already have all the solutions. All the technological solutions to the biggest problems that we face as individuals, communities, and nations. We still have the opportunity to create a healthy future by defining the values that we cherish before we implement solutions that cause irreversible harm to us and our planet. When we decide that these answers are more important than the bottom line, and we focus on well-being, we will flourish, and every person will be a part of that abundance and that progress. So the old world is crumbling, and all of its systems with it. So, because what we have done, what we have, isn't working anymore. And that is not to put a judgment or shame or guilt on anything, because we have, as a humanity, learned along the way. But it's time that we wake up and see what's happening, because now it's very critical, because it wouldn't take us very long, going at the rate we're going, to just destroy ourselves and our home. I don't know of any other species on this planet that destroys its own home. And we are the ones that have the intelligence and the wisdom to take care of that. I have shared these words of Wayne Dyer's with you before. Actually, I think they're Abraham Hicks, but who cares? They're really good words. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. It's all about perception. And it's time that we look at our world as stewards and as caregivers, and to create this new earth. And we're the only ones that can do that, as I said. And so in closing, I want to share with you a Cree Indian prophecy. Only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then will you find that money cannot be eaten. Good prophecy, huh? So, would you like to take a few moments of meditation with me? So let's get comfortable in our chairs and just relax. Again, this isn't to scare you, it is just to give you knowledge for it's time for action. And so just breathe. Focus on your heart. It's now time on the planet for aware people to increase our energetic responsibility, to facilitate the planetary shift to its higher potentials. Increasing energetic responsibility starts with recognizing that our thoughts, feelings, our attitudes, and actions have an impact on others and the world around us. It's knowing that whatever is happening on this planet, we still have to be responsible for our own energy. So let's center our attention in our hearts. And let's breathe in feelings of love and appreciation to warm your heart and increase coherence. From this beautiful, peaceful place, this place of wisdom, reach out and connect in the heart with the millions of people throughout our planet who are awakening to the heart in the midst of all of these crises, as they realize humanity needs to become more compassionate, more caring, so that we can create new systems that facilitate and benefit all. So now I ask you to commit to increasing your energetic responsibility by going to your heart for personal direction in creating uplifting, harmonious interactions with people and our environment. So let us see more people connecting with the energy of the heart. That's been all of us. That's within all of us. And so as you hold that vision in your heart, feel its power. Feel its love. And now let's radiate our heart energy into the planetary field to help ease global tensions. And let's send our deepest compassion to people throughout the whole world who are suffering from war and famine, natural disasters, and other hardships. Let's just embrace them in a bubble and breathe that into your heart and hold on to it. So see this love and light going to everyone, into the whole world, and out into the planetary field. And don't underestimate the power of compassion just because you can't see it. You are filled with compassion. let it come out. We need it now. We need your heart intelligence. We need your kindness so that we can create a new earth, a new humanity based on unity. So I hope you hold that in your heart as you go about living your life. We have the power. We have the power. So let's take a deep breath and bring our attention back into this room.
We have a short amount of time for a discussion.
Have a seat, my dear.
Occurred to me there's maybe one more form of pollution we should be aware of, and that's mental pollution. And just as there are beautiful signs of hope that could help us deal with the air pollution and the thermal pollution and the soil pollution and the water pollution, these amazing organisms that can purify and regenerate. We have an amazing organism, our soul, that can help regenerate our mental sphere, and that's that seed that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had a young man come over to help me weed, and he said, "Oh, I'll just, pour some Roundup on it." I said, "You will not." I said, "We don't use chemicals here." And then he says, "Well, I don't weed." See, that's the kind of thing we have to help that change. Yes, Sharon.
Yes. I want to thank you very much for this talk today. It means a lot to me. Sometimes I forget what I need to be doing. And so interpreting what you said today, I could go something like this. I'm not making this change because I feel guilty about doing what I'm doing. But I'm making this change, and I think this would be good for everybody here, because I'm a wonderful person, and I want to make this change. And a little bit does mean a lot. Every time I see a house go up that has the potential to have south-facing windows that could heat during the winter, and if they only saved $10 a year, and if it were all of Roseburg with its 26,000 people, that's $260,000 per year. And we're one town out of many in Oregon. If we had 10 of those towns, that's 2 million. So it's easy to think what I do doesn't really matter, but it always does.
It does. Everything matters. Yes, thank you, Sharon, for reminding us of that. Everything matters, and don't feel guilty. That does not help.
Oh, I just want to say to everyone, and Donna especially, that I wish you could, I don't wish, I know you could take this to a lot of groups. We're sort of like preaching to the choir in a way, but I mean, of course, we can all improve, definitely. But if you could go to some of the groups that really could hear this and maybe tone it down a little bit. But you know what I mean? It's such an incredible talk you gave.
Oh, well, thank
Made
you.
me cry.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, we just need to be aware of what's going on, you know. Yeah. And the more we do this, the more, more seeds we plant. It is changing. Please know it is changing. There's more light on this planet than darkness, and I know it doesn't seem like it, but trust me, there is. Yes. JC?
I have heard you and others say over and over again, if you change the way you see something, it changes. I mean,
Yeah, what
change
you
can
look at
happen,
changes.
or whatever that is. And I realize that I have been called upon recently to do that, and it is so right. There's a situation which I just gave up on because I was angry. And some years passed, and I realized I remembered being angry, but the feeling wasn't as intense. And I've come to the point where the thing I ask myself now is, how would love work in this situation? I'm still angry about what was happening, but now I talked to Dennis about it. What would love do in this situation? And I have a very much broader concept of the things that are involved that I can bring love to.
Yes.
And when you said, it's our emotions that we have to give up, I still believe the love was proper and justified. But it's not the thing to act on.
Yeah.
We have to do the things from love, and we'll do completely different things. So anyway, I know what that means now.
Well, those emotions of anger are there for a reason. They're telling us something's amiss. But again, what is your choice?
Yeah.
You don't have to express that anger. So,
I think the thing that most, I don't know if the word is annoys me, disappoints me, angers me, you choose the word. But there are those people out there that need to hear this message. And if you start to tell them this message, they will say, not interested.
yes. And that's their freedom. We're always free to choose, but guess what? We're not free of the consequences of our choices. And there will be consequences for those choices.
They don't have the right to bring me down
Yeah,
with them.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Donna. I'm no longer angry. The joints in my body that hurt this morning no longer hurt.
Right. Thank you, everyone, and happy 4th of July. Here, I'll move this for you.
Just flip it up and be fine.
Requirements for short people.
Well, we have time for one short song, number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. Please rise as you are able and join me in singing.
Touch the earth, reach the sky, walk on shores while spirits fly over
In closing, as humanity unifies in mind, heart, and spirit, all things become possible, and all life on earth is forever changed. The time of what's in it for me is over, as together we embrace what's best for all concerned. I've asked for a little bit of help with the chalice. John's coming. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please join me in singing Go Lift It Up. Blessed be. Join us for coffee and conversation.